how to crochet a granny square bag step by step and totally beginner friendly. I will give you the written pattern on screen row by row with stitch animations to keep you on track. We will finish this bag with cool grommets and a beautiful braided strap. This video is fully voice narrated, so follow my voice. Let's get started. For my yarn today, I'm using one of my favorite brands. This is Barocco from the Splash model, and it's made in Italy. It's a beautiful organic cotton. I mean, look at the colors. And for the hook, I'm using a 3mm hook. So we're gonna start out with making our base, which is really our granny square, right? And in the center, we are starting out with some puff stitches. So if you count them, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And from the corners, we continue the puff stitches in a braided type pattern, which makes this so pretty. And on the sides is just a solid double crochet pattern. So very, very simple. Okay, let's go ahead and do our magic ring. You do your magic ring however works for you. And I'm gonna grab my first loop and chain 1. Okay, so the first puff stitch is going to look a little different. Okay, so I have my chain here. I'm gonna go insert in the center, pull up a loop. I have 2 loops now, yarn over, pull up a loop. So that was kind of like a single crochet, okay? And then we'll do 2 half finished or unfinished double crochet. So we'll do yarn over, pull up a loop. So now you have this loop plus 2 more, yarn over, pull through 2. And if you look at the first stitch and the second stitch, they look basically identical, right? So you can start this out with a chain 3 or chain 2 as well. I just think this looks better. So we'll do another half finished double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. So you should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and that's your first puff stitch. If you look at the pattern, it's a PS, stands for puff stitch. And then chain 1. And then this time I'm going to do another chain 1, and we're going to work on our second puff stitch. So the second puff stitch and going forward, you're going to do 3 unfinished double crochet. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Leave that one as is. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That's our second unfinished double crochet. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So if you look at the loops, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yarn over, pull through all the loops, chain 1. And that was your second puff stitch. Now this time we're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be our corner. Now we're going to do a third puff stitch. So yarn over, unfinished double crochet, unfinished double crochet, unfinished double crochet, yarn over, pull through all the loops, chain 1, and now we're going to do a chain 1 between this one and the next puff stitch. Okay, so if you look at your work, 2 puff stitches separated by chain 1, that's the side, chain 3 for the corner, and then another 2 puff stitches separated by a chain 1. So now we are at the corner again, so you're going to do a chain 3. So let's repeat that 2 more times. So here's my puff stitch. Chain 1. Here's my second puff stitch, and now I'm going to do a chain 3. So we have 1 side, 2 side, 3 side. So let's do the 4th side, but we're not going to do a chain 3 at the end. So I will get there, I'll show to you. So here's my first puff stitch for the last side. Now here's my last puff stitch for round number 1. Here we go. That was my last puff stitch. So let's close our circle. So you see we have our first side here corner, second side corner, third side corner, fourth side. So for the corner here, we're not gonna do a chain 3, and I will show you why. So let's just do a chain 3, and then you would normally slip stitch into the top, right? But take a look at your work. When you do that, your ending tail, your yarn ends up over here, while we really want it to end in the corner. So that's not how we're going to do it. So 1, 2, 3, let's take that out. Instead, we're going to do a chain 1, and we're going to do a half double crochet into the top of our first puff stitch. So yarn over, pull through a loop. You have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And that is how you end with your yarn here in the middle, which is exactly what we want. And that was round number 1. So for round 2 and going forward, this is how you would do it. So we always start in the corner, and the corners will have the 2 puff stitches every single row. Okay, so to do our first puff stitch, just like in the first round, we're going to chain 1, and then the first puff stitch always looks a little different, right? And then we'll do like a single crochet, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's part of our puff stitch. And then we'll do a half finished double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We'll do that one more time, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. You yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, chain 1. So that's your first puff stitch. We're going to put another one as when we are ending over here, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and here in the chain 1 space between the 2 puff stitches on the side, we're going to put 3 double crochets. 1 double, 2 double, 3 double. Okay, so 3 double into the chain 1 space. Then you do a chain 2, and we're going to work 2 puff stitches into the corner. So yarn over, do 3 unfinished double crochet. That was the first one, that was the second one, that was my third unfinished double crochet. So you have 4 loops now. Yarn over, pull through all the loops, chain 1. That's your first puff stitch. then you do a chain 3, and you put another puff stitch in the corner. So 3 unfinished double crochet, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all the loops, chain 1, tighten that up, and then you do a chain 2. Now you put 3 double crochets into your chain 1 space here in between the puff stitches. There was 1, 2, 3, chain 2. We find ourselves in the corner again, so we'll do 2 puff stitches, 2, 3, and in the corner between the 2 puff stitches we do a chain 3, and let's do a second puff stitch, okay. So that was my second corner, chain 2. Now we'll put 3 double crochets in between these puff stitches. There was 1, 2, 3, chain 2. We find ourselves in the corner again, so do 2 puff stitches separated by a chain 3. So there was my first puff stitch, chain 3, and now my second puff stitch, okay. So that was the corner with the 2 puff stitches here. Now 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and this was our first corner. We already have 1 puff stitch there, so we're going to do a second puff stitch. So do your 3 unfinished double crochet, yarn over, pull through all of them, chain 1, and to connect the corners just like before we're going to do a chain 1, and we'll do a half double crochet on top of our first puff stitch to close this round. And that was round number 2. So round number 3 and going forward, you work it exactly the same way, but you are going to add 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space here and here. So here in the center you have the 3 double crochets, right? So you do 2 double crochets before, 2 double crochets after. So on the next round you really have 7 double crochets, right? So let me show you how to do that. So we here in the corner, let's do our first puff stitch, chain 1, start out with what looks like a single crochet, and then 2 unfinished double crochet. That was our first puff stitch in the corner. So now we're going to do a chain 2, and into the chain 2 space from the previous round we're going to do 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then you work the 3 double crochets just as they appear, 1, 2, 3. You find yourself in another chain 2 space before the corner. You put another 2 double crochets. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then we'll do a chain 2, And now we're in the corner, so corner is 2 puff stitches with a chain 3 in the middle. So that's my first puff stitch, chain 3, and another puff stitch. Now chain 2. Okay, so now we're back on the side. So you're going to do 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space, followed by 3 double crochets on the side. There was 3. And then we have another chain 2 space. You're going to do 2 doubles. So you can count your work. You have 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you chain 2. And you find yourself in the corner again. So let's do this one more time. That was my first puff stitch, chain 3. That was my second puff stitch. So that finished the corner. Then we'll do a chain 2. And then we're here on the side again. So do your 2 double. Followed by 3 double. Followed by another 2 double in the chain 2 space. And then chain 2. And then work your corner. That was puff stitch number 1, chain 3. That's puff stitch number 2. Then chain 2. And then work the sides. I just realized here, guys, on the last round, I forgot to put in my chain 2 between the 3 double crochets and my first puff stitch. So normally here there would be a chain 2. So just imagine there's a chain 2. You put in your 2 double crochets, and then followed by 3 double crochets. And in your chain 2 space, you do another 2 double crochets, chain 2. We're back in our original corner. That one still needs another puff stitch. And to connect, chain 1 and a half double crochet on top of the first one. So off camera, I'm gonna open this back up to make sure that I fix this problem here, but that is the round you're gonna continue to do until you have your desired base width, okay? Okay, I think I am done with my base, and let's count how many rows I did. So this was our first row, okay, and then from here I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows. So if I measure it, it's 9 inches and 9 inches, which is almost 23 centimeter wide. So this is a good enough base for me. And now we're gonna start decreasing to form the back going up. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to add a stitch marker in the center of each of the sides. So if you follow, so the easiest way to do that is to get your middle double crochet. So the first row we had 1, 2, 3 double crochets, right? And then you follow that double crochet all the way up, and that tells you where the center is on the last row. And you would do the same thing on all of the side, or you can count. So if you're doing the same number of rows as I am, you should have 19 stitches from here, from the chain 2 space to here. Then you have the center mark stitch, and then you have 19 stitches over here. Okay, so this is our first decrease row, and the first decrease row looks a little bit different than all the other rows going forward. So let's do this one together. The sides and the corners are worked the same way as you have done before, right? So I'm going to do my first bobble stitch, or my first puff stitch in the corner. And do my chain 2, and then you continue to do your 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space as normal. And then coming up, you should have 19 double crochets until the center. But I don't want you to crochet 19 stitches. I want you to crochet 18 stitches instead, and I want you to end right here. So this is 1 stitch before the center. Okay, so we're not gonna crochet the stitch before the center. We're gonna stop right there. We stop 2 stitches before the center. So if you have the same number of rows that I'm making in regards to the size of the back, that should give you 18 double crochets, and then you would stop. Okay. Okay, so I did 18 double crochets. No, that was 17. Here's 18. Okay, now we're going to skip this stitch. We're going to skip the center mark stitch, and we're going to skip this stitch. So we're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to double crochet into the 4th stitch over here. So 1, 2, 3, insert your hook into the 4th stitch, do a double crochet as normal, and the first row of decrease, we skip 3 stitches. Okay, so that's our first row. So I'm going to work my way over here. I'll show it to you one more time, and then we'll move on to the second decrease row. Okay, so I just double crocheted 18 stitches until the center of the second side. And just like before, we're gonna do a decrease, and we're gonna skip 3 stitches. We're gonna skip 1, skip 2, which is the center, skip 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, insert your hook into the 4th stitch and do a regular double crochet, and then you're just gonna do double crochet as usual. So first row, decrease by 3 stitches every side, so you have another 2 sides to go. Go all the way around, and I'll meet you back over here. Okay, so I did my first round of decrease where we skipped 3 stitches all the way around, and I went ahead and I started my second row. So the second row here, this part is definitely an important part, because from now on you're going to do the decrease every side the way I'm going to show it to you right now until you have the height of your back, right? So if you're starting to decrease here, every single row going up from now on, we're going to do this decrease. So let's take a look at our work. If you look at your center, this was the decrease we did in the first round, right? We skipped 3. So these are our 2 center stitches, 1, 2. I stopped another 2 before that. So 1, 2, 3. This is our total center. And 1, 2, 3. These are our stitches that we're going to pay attention to. So every row here we are increasing by 4 stitches, right? By doing 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space and 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. So for the back to go up 90 degrees, you also have to decrease it by 4 stitches. So we're going to decrease these 2 stitches into 1. We're going to skip 1, skip 2, and then we're going to decrease these 2 stitches into 1. So in a sense, we're decreasing 1, 2, 3, and 4 stitches on every side of the back. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. So here's the dead center of the base. So I stopped 1, 2, 3 stitches before that. So we're going to decrease these 2 into 1. So we're going to do 2 half finished double crochets. So yarn over, insert your hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and you leave that one as is. You don't finish that. Then you yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you should have 3 loops, 1, 2, 3. You yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and that is how you double crochet 2 together. So these 2 stitches became 1 stitch. Okay, and then we're going to skip 1, skip 2, and then we're going to decrease these 2 into 1. So yarn over, do a half finish double crochet, yarn over, insert into the next stitch, do a half finish double crochet. Now you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So if you look at your work, it should look like this. You have double crochet 2 together, skip 1, skip 2, double crochet 2 together. Okay, let's do that one more time together. So you stop 1, 2, 3 before the center. You do a double crochet 2 together, this one and this one. So half finish double, yarn over, half finish double, your 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then skip 1, skip 2, and then we're going to double crochet the next 2 together. And once you've done that, you're just going to continue to double crochet the rest of the row and continue to work the corners the way you have been doing it since round number 3. Okay, so none of that is going to change. The only thing that's going to change is how you're going to work the side and how you're going to decrease. So we're decreasing 4 stitches every round on every side, and that is what's going to bring back our back. So do that all around and continue to do so until you have the height of the back that you are looking for. Okay, so do that and I'll meet you back. Okay, let's take a look at the back. Look how pretty this yarn comes out in this specific pattern. I'm gonna stop here. I didn't want my back to be too tall. So if I'm counting my rows, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 rows. Going up, if I'm going to measure this is 8 inches tall, which is 20 centimeters for the shorter part. And if I'm going to measure the tall part, it's almost 11 inches, which is 28 centimeters tall. So before I start working on my straps, I'm gonna put 2 rows of single crochet all the way around to give this a little bit more stability on the top. To get started on my single crochet rows, I'm here in the corner and I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to do a single crochet in to the corner. Let's go ahead and mark this stitch, and then we're gonna do 1 single crochet on top of the bobble stitch. I'm going to do 2 single crochets here in the chain 2 space, and then you're going to do 1 single crochet into each of the stitch that you see. Now when we get to the bottom of our valley, as I call it, I will do a single crochet 2 together. So I'm going to decrease these 2 into 1. So let's work our way over there and I'll show you how to do the single crochet decrease. If you find this tutorial helpful, I would so much love to hear from you guys. Give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section what is your favorite part about my tutorial. Is it the pattern text? Is it my narration? Or if you have some constructive feedback for me in regards to how I can make my video better, I certainly would love to hear from you either way. Okay guys, so I just stopped here. So I'm right in the middle. These are the 2 middle stitches, these 2. Okay, so I'm going to insert my crochet hook into the first one and pull up a loop. So now I have 2 loops. Now I'm going to insert my crochet hook into the second stitch and pull up a loop. Now I got 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So I just decrease these 2 stitches into 1, and then you just single crochet all the way up the valley again. Okay, so decrease on the bottom. When you get up here in the corner, you will do 2 single crochets and make your way all the way around, and I'll meet you back here where I connect before I start my second round of single crochet. Okay, I'm almost back to my beginning corner, and remember I did 1 single crochet in the beginning in the corner, so I'm going to do 1 more, and then here's my marked first stitch. Slip stitch into your first stitch to finish round 1, and then chain 1 and into the first stitch you're going to do a single crochet just like you did earlier. So 2 rows of single crochet I think should do it. So work your way all around. Once you get to the end, slip stitch, fasten off your yarn, and then I will show you how to do the straps. Look at how cute these braided straps are. I love this style so much, and I thought it would be a really good combination with this specific bag. So I am thinking about putting the straps here on top of the braided stitch, and from here, and we attach it to the other side. You can put it just in as is, but I'm going to put a crochet on here first before putting in the straps. But before we get there, let's go ahead and crochet our straps. Okay, so leave a nice long tail so you can use that to sew in the ends, and I'm going to start with a slip knot. Now you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do yarn over, insert our hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, nice and tall. Yarn over, pull up a second loop, yarn over, pull up a third loop. Okay, so you should have a total of 7 loops on your hook right now. Yarn over, pull through all the loops, and then you have 1 loop on your hook, yarn over, pull through. Okay, then you're going to turn your work. Now for the second one, we're going to insert our hook right between the chain 4 and the first bubble. So yarn over, insert here, pull up a loop, 1, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3, yarn over, go through all the loops, yarn over, do 1. Okay, so for the third one, we are going to go in between these 2 bobble stitch right here. So yarn over, insert your hook here, pull up a loop, 1, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2, yarn over, pull up a third loop, nice and tall, yarn over, pull through all the loops, chain 1. Okay, so from now on going forward, you're going to insert your hook right in here. And if you look closely and open up your stitches, there's like this little gap right here. It's really hard to see on camera. So you don't go in the gap underneath, okay? It's going to be in between the 2 puff stitches. So let's do that a couple of times together. So yarn over, insert your hook, right here, pull up a loop, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all the loops, chain 1, turn your work. Okay, right here is where you insert your hook. So yarn over, pull up a loop, 1, nice and tall, guys, yarn over, 2, yarn over, 3, chain 1, turn your work. Okay, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, chain 1. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple more, and then I think you are going to be good on your own to finish off the straps. And of course we will need 2 straps. Okay, One more time. 1, 2, 3, and that's what your strap look like. So I got my 2 straps here. Let's go ahead and measure them. So these are 20 inches long, and that would be 58.5 centimeter long. So let's get the grommets out, and we'll add the grommets here to the top, and then we can attach the strap. So let me show you how to put in your grommets. As I said, you don't have to put on any grommets. I think it's perfectly super pretty as is, and just put the straps through here. I just like them. I just like the looks of them. So what you need, and you can get this at any kind of craft supply store, is going to be a tool like this. So you have to measure the grommet here, and you measure on the inside, and this is a 1/2 inch wide grommet. And you would put this piece down onto this little stand, and then this, you know, flatter piece goes on top of it like so, and then you put this tool on top of it and you give it a nice little whack. Okay, so in our case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this long part, so the long piece, through our corner here, and this is the outside. I want this part to be on the outside, just like that. Okay, and then you put it on top of your base here, and then you will put the flat piece on top, nice and tuck. Take this tool, hold it tight. Now you want to have a solid surface, so I have my cutting board here, which I use only for doing the grommets. You take a nice hammer, and you don't want to do like little jabs, but you want to give it one nice whack or two. So here we go. Every time I do it, I'm scared I'm gonna crush my hands, but this is it. So worth taking the risk of crushing my hands. Super easy, right? So let's go ahead and attach our straps next. Okay, so I put on the strap on this side already. Look how cute this is. While this is not the same kind of braided look, I just love the idea of continuing the braided look from the corners through the straps. I think it looks super cute. What do you think? Let me know if you love it too, or if you prefer for me to make this back with a different strap. So I attach the strap over here only on one side because I want to show you how to do it on the other side. So you're gonna go, this is the outside of the back. From the outside to the inside, you put in your strap through, okay? And you want to go, this is how much I went over, so this is about an inch, maybe 1.5 centimeters. And then your long tail end, go ahead and put it on a tapestry needle. Okay, so it's very easy, and you want to take your time with this because you want the straps to be nice and secure. So you got your straps like this, and so take your tail end, and I just go through the bottom, and I probably go up and down, wrap it around the top, probably 10 times or so. You don't see it on the other side at all, and this is super easy. As you can see, you can do it really fast because there's so much cushion here. You don't see any of the stitches on the other side, right? So keep wrapping your yarn around the tail end. Okay, so this looks pretty secure to me. It's very tight. I'm going to go through the middle here, and I don't think I need to, but I'm gonna put a couple knots here at the end. I think it just makes me feel better. And then I go through the middle to hide the knot. Nothing fancy about this. And that's it. So this is the inside and this is the outside. Isn't that pretty? Anyhow, this is your bag. I hope you love this tutorial as much as I do. I think the bag came out looking super cute. If you need help with making the bag on specific areas or any questions at all, leave me a comment and I will try to answer them all for you. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Bye.